Welcome to the Steer the Line podcast, where our goal is to make you a better. Sports gambling is exploding all over the United States as it's being legalized. Right up here where I am in the Pacific Northwest, it's becoming a hotbed of betting on all sorts of sports. But here on Steer the Line, we focus on betting on NFL games. A lot of people are intimidated by sports betting. They don't know what a lot of the terms mean. They don't understand what's the spread. Can I buy points? What's a money line bet? What's the vig? What does that mean? How does a parlay bet work? Well, we're going to teach you all of those things. We're going to get down into the basics of sports betting, but a couple of things to get out of the way first. Do not engage in illegal gambling. Make sure that you are betting legally. Please do not illegally bet online or with some shady bookie. Only bad things can happen if you do that. And we don't want you to, do things that could get you in trouble in any way whatsoever. So only bet where it's legal. And also, don't bet the house. Don't bet the mortgage. Bet only what you can afford to lose. This is for entertainment purposes. I'm not saying because I'm going to teach you the basics how to bet that you're going to become a millionaire and you're going to spend your life gambling and that's how you're going to make your living. Most people, look, we engage in sports betting because it's fun. We enjoy it. Hey, if we hit, you know what? We're going to take our friends out for a steak dinner. Well, that's what we want to do here on Steer the Line. So let's get into it. A lot of people are confused about how sports books actually make their money. It is not by beating you and the other bettors. Sports books are actually counting on a sure thing. And that sure thing is called the VIG, aka the juice. How a sports book actually makes money is they get 50% of the people that are betting on this side of the bet. They get 50% that are betting on this side of the bet. And they're charging you the VIG, the juice, somewhere between 10, 15, 20%, some places as low as 5 or 3.5, just for taking your action. So you're going to pay the VIG, you're going to pay the juice on a bet like this. If we look at this here, the VIG, aka the juice, is how bookies make money. So let's take a typical NFL bet. We have here the Cowboys. Oh, look at that. I just erased it myself, but it did say minus 110. Over here, it says the Giants minus 115. So if you're doing a straight money line bet, Cowboys, Giants, or let's say you're doing a point spread bet, Cowboys minus 7, Giants plus 7. You're going to pay 10%, 15%, this 110 this 115. In order to get paid $100, you're going to have to bet 110 on this side with the Cowboys. In order to win 100, you're going to bet 115 on the Giants plus 7. These numbers actually tell you something. The minus 110 and the minus 115 means the books are actually slightly more believing that the Giants are going to cover the plus 7 than the Cowboys are going to cover the minus 7. Okay, well, why? Why do I know that? Because they're hedging one side of the bet more. Minus 110 means you have to bet 110 to win 100. Minus 115 means you have to bet 115 to win 100. So it's simple. The books are charging you more to take the plus 7 with the Giants than they are the minus 7 with the Cowboys, which means they have more confidence that the Giants are going to cover than they do that the Cowboys are going to cover. And we'll get into cover and point spreads and all that down the line. But that's actually how sportsbooks make their money, on the VIG, on the juice, on getting that sweet spot in the middle where they get a 50-50 split with people on each side of the bet. The simplest bet that there is in NFL betting is called the money line. Very simple. You are simply betting on which team is going to win. In this case, the Cowboys and the Giants game that we just talked about, we're going to go back to. They're saying the Cowboys minus 240 or the Giants plus 160. What this means is they are much more confident that the Cowboys are going to win the game than they are that the Giants are going to win the game. You have to bet $240 on the Cowboys to win 100. And that's going to give you a total win of $340. But if you bet $100 on the Giants, they're going to give you $160 back. Now, the win is less. It's $260. But you have to risk way more over here on the Cowboys to win 100. And they're going to give you more than 100 if you bet on the Giants. The Giants then are the underdog, sometimes known as simply the dog. And the Cowboys then are the favorite, or sometimes referred to as the chalk. So, Cowboys, Giants, this is a fictional money line bet. Simplest bet you can make. I don't love money line bets. Why? There's just not a lot of value there. If you want to take a favorite, you're going to have to bet a fortune to get back $100 or, whatever your bet's going to be. But it's not great value. And then the same is true on the other side. If you bet a dog, chances are they're not going to win. They're an underdog in the game for a reason. And most of the time, it isn't that hard to pick what team is going to win the game and what team is going to lose. Put me in a pool where all I have to do is pick winners and losers, not a problem. But when it comes to a money line bet, you really don't win that much on a favorite. And if you bet an underdog, the deeper a dog they are, the more money you're going to make back. But the chances are that team just isn't going to win the game. So that's the basics of your money line bet. So let's talk about what is arguably the most popular bet in NFL betting, and that is the bet against the spread. So what does that mean? Okay, we go back to our fictional Cowboys and Giants game, right? Cowboys -7, Giants +7. Cowboys are the favorite at -7. The Giants are the dog at +7. So what does this mean? In order to win this bet, if you bet on the Cowboys must win by 8 or more points to cover meaning win the bet, the -7 points. The Giants are +7. This means if the Cowboys win by 6 or less points, you win that bet. Cowboys -7. They have to win by 8 or more. Giants +7. They have to stay within the spread of 6. Now, the number is 7. What happens if the Cowboys win by 7? Well, that means the Giants cover 7. This is what we call a push. If you bet on the Cowboys -7 and the score that they win by is exactly 7, say 21-14, it's a push. You get your money back minus the VIG, which is that percentage you paid simply to place the bet. If the Giants stay within the number of 7, let's say the Giants lose 21-14 and you bet on the Giants, that is a push with the +7 number. Again, you get your money back minus the VIG. There's some magic numbers that you really need to look out for when it comes to betting on NFL games. Those numbers are 3, 7, 10, and increasingly 14. It used to be 3, 7, 10, 3, 7, 10 for years. But the scores are going up so much in terms of total scoring That 14 has also become a number that you want to start looking out for in games where you have a deep underdog or a heavy favorite. But look at this at the bottom here. You notice that I have 3 or 3.5, 7 or 7.5, 10 or 10.5, or 14 and 14.5. That 0.5 number is what is known as the hook. The hook is something you want to watch out for. That 0.5 number is what the bookies put in place so that there can't be a push on a bet. In other words, there's no half points in football. So there's no way for a game to end at 3.5, 7.5, 10.5, 14.5. It's going to end at 3, 7, 10, 14, or some other number without a half point. You want to be really careful that you are trying to be on the right side of the hook. That hook, that 0.5, watch for it. If it's 3.5, that means they're leaning that this game is probably going to end at 3. If it's 7.5, it means they're leaning it's probably going to end at 7 or less. That half point is something you want to pay attention to. A lot of bets are lost just on the hook alone. So, what have we learned today? Sportsbooks actually make their money on the vig or the juice. A money line bet is simple, but it doesn't pay really well. Betting against the spread is popular, but getting that spread exactly right is difficult. And again, you're not getting a huge payout for the money that you're betting. And you really need to watch out for that hook, that half point that really matters a lot when it comes to betting on NFL games. We want to make you a better bettor. That's what we're doing here on Steer the Line. And again, do it legally, do it safely. Don't bet more than you can afford to bet and still just have fun with it. So go out there, enjoy your sports betting, come back. We'll teach you more about parlays and buying points and other things as we get into more complex strategies on betting on the NFL right here on Steer the Line.